Hello everyone, happy Monday. Normally I try to do these ahead of time and post them at midnight, but it's been a long weekend. For those of you who don't know, my daughter is neurodivergent. She has ADHD, ADD, for sure. We still need to get her tested for autism. And she had a couple episodes this weekend, so it was just like really trying. And it's been kind of crazy. So she's good today. She's doing really good, so I'm really grateful for that. So let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Video is called The Monster Under the Bed. So, you know, for like centuries, like, oh, there's a monster under the bed, you know, monster under the bed's gonna get you if you get out of bed, things like that. And how do kids protect themselves? They put the blanket over their head, right? Remember the blindfold of fear. But like in this case, it's like, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist, right? And that goes for anything we don't like.
If I put a blanket, it feels blindfold, and the monsters can't get me.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the monster says, "Not the blanket."
If I don't see it, it doesn't exist. That's our ego, right? Our ego's the blanket. If I don't see what I don't like, it doesn't exist. Sorry, I'm thirsty. I have to drink something.
I'm
the
too. I want some Sprite.
Oh, it's right here. The monsters are shadows, right? Are negative behaviors. If I put a blanket up, if I put the blanket over my head, I won't see the things are my shadows. I won't see the shadows. I won't see my negative behavior. A lot of times that's it's people project their negative behavior onto other people, their negative habits onto other people, right? It's like, man, sorry, you know, I apologize for being off. Like I said, it was a tough weekend, so I'm going to be a little bit off, and I apologize for that. So the monster under the bed is our shadows, our negative behavior, right? And we don't want to see the shadows, the monster, so we pull that blanket up. It's our ego protecting us, right? The blanket. Because to pull that blanket down is to face our fears, right?
Hey,
Again,
if I pull the blanket up, it feels blindfold, and the monster it says, "Not the blanket," and he dies.
Yes. And so I talked about this before, the magic mirror gate. It was the second gate in Neverending Story to the Southern Oracle. Engi Wook, the expert for the Southern Oracle, said that by staring into the mirror, you find out who you truly are. And they said that some men can't even pass through the gate, that they run away screaming because they're seeing their fears, their shadows represented right in front of them. And the desire to keep that blanket over their head is broken. That blanket is forcibly pulled down, and they run screaming because they don't like what they see. There was a time when I would use my vocabulary as my blanket to hide my hurt feelings. If I was triggered, I would use big words, condescension, passive aggressiveness as my security blanket, right? When I felt like I was triggered or my feelings were hurt. We have a tendency to use the defensive tactics such as anger, condescension, passive aggressiveness, to mask how hurt we actually are. We don't want to come out and say, wow, that really hurt my feelings, because that allows us to feel weak, or that makes us seem weak, right? Look weak. And so we use that aggression, whether it's verbal aggression, whether it's physical aggression, we use that as our defense mechanism. Sometimes we laugh and mock the situation. It's a defense mechanism. Have you ever caught yourself using these tactics? Have you ever caught yourself mocking someone as a way of self-defense? Focusing on if someone, embarrasses you, either turning to anger or turning to embarrassing them as a defense mechanism. I talked about the blindfold of fear. Like our egos love to tell tales. In a sense, our egos lie to us. And it's really a sense of, well, I'm lying to protect you. Which, yeah, of course, it's, of course, our ego, that's our ego's job. Our ego's job is to protect us. But if we don't put boundaries on our ego, it will keep us in this cage for the rest of our life. It'll keep us fearful. And it will enhance those beliefs passed down to us by our parents and grandparents. It will look at the world and say, oh, look at, everything's getting more expensive and you have to work harder, and people don't get a break now. You can't, it's like fear, negativity. It's a piling of those blankets, watch out. And what does it turn into? It turns into aggression, right? Moving from the unconscious to the deep unconscious. It's that avalanche, and we end up aggressive. We talk about protests, right? There's peaceful protests and then there's violent protests. So when it comes to violent protests, we're angry, right? There's injustice, there's racism, there's all of this stuff that we're angry about and we're passionate about, and we want to take a stand. And what do? Instead of channeling all of that energy into something productive, we turn it into something productive. There's looting, there's vandalism, there's breaking stuff. People get hurt, people get unalived because we don't know how to handle that monster under our bed except to pile blankets on. And it piles up to the point where we just burst out in anger. So I wanted to do this video because, I thought about like kids, like urban legends, like the monster under the bed, the boogeyman, this and that. And it made me really think about, this is mostly like, it comes from adults, right? So, I just kind of feel like I talk a lot about ego, right? To me, I know my purpose here is to kind of be the loan opener, right? My job is to get people interested enough to come into the door, to sign up for the Ascension program, right? And, to me, it's really about, you can do this. There's a couple ways you could do this. You could do this by appealing to people's desire to want to make things better. And then you could do this to fight fear with fear. In a sense. I don't want to say fight fear with fear.
You hear the airplane sound?
Mm-hmm.
I like the Uber to go everything.
Okay. And for me, I'm here to tell you what I see, right? Yeah, not everything I talk about is pleasant. A lot of times people don't want to hear what I have to talk about. But it's a sense of someone needs to, sorry, heater's on, my throat's getting dry. It's about me taking off that blindfold and saying, you have to look. How can you conquer the things that you fear if you don't face them? Right? Facing your fears. How can you stop what you don't see? If you are willing to put that ego, put that blindfold or that blanket over your head, over things that relate to yourself, how are you going to fight any other fear that you have? Injustice, things like that. You can't. Our ego keeps us weak. Our ego keeps us fearful. And our ego's there to protect us. Yeah, our ego's there to protect us from things that are dangerous to our life. But what happens if we don't put our egos in check? What happens is it spreads like a virus. Okay? It prevents us from taking risks. It prevents us from making new friends, from starting new schools, from starting new jobs, from starting new relationships, going out. Our ego causes us to be mostly either homebodies and hermits or overly extroverted. Because it's either a sense of, well, if I stay away from people, I won't get hurt. But there's also if I kind of force myself upon people and be extra crazy and extroverted, I can't get hurt, because how do you hurt a crazy person? In a sense. I don't like using that word, but in a sense, right? Defense mechanism. So it becomes a real need that when we have our fears, when we have our shadows in front of us, not to put up that blanket. Just to sit there and face the fear, face our shadows and say, you know what? You don't scare me anymore. You have no power over me anymore. I see you. I recognize you. I'm going to shine a light on you. And you're not gonna, what the ego does, ego's like, but I'm just protecting you. And you're like, no, you're hurting me. I can't grow as long as you're in charge. As long as this monster lives under my bed, I can't leave my bed. As long as this monster lives underneath it. And how do we vanquish the monster? Turning on that flashlight, looking under the bed and saying, you know what? You don't scare me anymore. You need to leave. Okay? And, sorry. And that's when the monster's like, well, I guess you saw me and you're not scared, so might as well leave. And it's like, yes, please leave. And the monster's like, well, I don't know, can I go chill in the corner of your closet? Yeah, go for it. You know? But behave, because if I need to expose you, I will. And the monster's like, all right. So, you know, it's very common for us to want to use negative behavior to defend ourselves. Okay? But we don't need to use negative behavior to defend ourselves. I've had people attack me, verbally attack me, physically attack me my whole life. It was some kind of attack from somewhere. I've always responded back with anger, but now when I feel triggered and attacked, I respond with kindness. I respond with, you know, either that or I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. Have a nice day. I'm out.
Okay.
It's a sense of you are attacking me.
We could go kids gym on Wednesday.
Yes, my love.
We could have lunch in McDonald's. Then we could go kids gym.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love McDonald's.
I'm glad. So, I forgot what I was gonna say. When we look at, like, let's say the internet, the keyboard warriors, right? Rage bait, right? I think a lot of people that create rage bait, it's not rage bait. It's real. That's what I think. It's real, but they're like, oh no, it's rage bait. No, it's real. They say that everything comes from truth. Jokes have a bit of truth. Stereotypes have a bit of truth. When you say just kidding, it comes from a bit of truth, right? And so when someone posts something, like, let me give you an example. Like, let's look at, like, a vegan page, right, on Facebook. And just completely unprovoked, a meat eater goes on there and goes, bacon. Or a vegan page posts a picture of a cute little baby pig, which they're adorable. They're so cute.
Mommy, I'm gonna make a short.
Okay. And
I'm gonna make it short, but you have to be quiet.
Okay, so yeah, I was talking about the vegan page, and a meat eater completely unprovoked goes, bacon, or steak. I'm enjoying a big fat steak while I'm eating this. And it's kind of like, okay, why did you post that? Oh, what, does it trigger you? Well, no, this is a vegan page. Why would you post that? Because vegans are this and this and that, and steak. And it's like, did you have a bad day? Like, did somebody hurt you? Like, why are you doing that? It's that. People do that to bait a response. They want to fight, right? They're like, yeah, fight with me, argue with me. And when you're like, okay, blocked. I'm gonna block you. What? You, like, I've had so many people, like, I got into it, they wanted to start an argument on Facebook, and so I just left it alone. They go in my messenger, say something really stupid, some really stupid insult, and then block me. And I'm like, that's like running up to someone, sucker punching them, and running away. What was that? Why did you do that? And it's because this person is like, oh my God, I'm so angry at this and this or that. I need to get it out. And that's how they get it out, right? Fight with me, because I need to let out my aggression. Go to the gym. Go to a boxing gym and punch it out on the punchy bags, right? But the reason people don't do that is when they get into a fight with somebody else, it suddenly becomes that other person's problem. Their anger becomes that other person's problem. And they can say, well, you, this and this and this and this. I just made a simple comment. And you, right? There is a lack of accountability. I'm not going to take accountability for my triggered behavior or my anger. It's easier for me to blame someone else for my fears than to face my fears myself. Rather than look in the mirror and really see myself for who I truly am. Right? That's the creation of the monster under our bed. It's not us, it's the monster under the bed. Right? The only way I can protect myself is to put blanket up over my head. Because it's the monster's fault. It's the monster. The monster is like, I'm a part of you. So I don't know what you're talking about. I am not separate from you. I am you. You just don't want to look at me because you're afraid to see that maybe you're not so perfect. Maybe you do have problems. Maybe you do have anger problems. Maybe you do have unresolved trauma. And to look at that monster under the bed is to look at your trauma, to look at what triggers you, to look at all that stuff. And we don't want to look at it because it we don't want to look at it because it brings up those feelings, those icky feelings that we don't want to feel. So we need to start shining a light on that monster, on those shadows, and saying, look, I see you. I'm not afraid of you. It's taken me a while to get to this point, but you know what? Now I'm here. And you can't bother me anymore. You don't scare me anymore. And by shining your light on the monster, it's taking accountability. So the next time you feel angry, you know how to deal with it. Yoga, breathing, punching, going to the gym, punching a punching bag, getting yourself a punching bag so that you can punch it when you're angry, right? But the real way to deal with it is to work through it. Why am I angry? Because of this. Okay, well, why? Because of this. Okay, well, why? Why yourself to death? Because it always brings you back to the root, the problem. Okay, this wasn't an especially long video. It started out a little disjointed, I know. But I'm still decompressing from the weekend. But yeah. So yeah, the monster under the bed. It's people don't like the word fear. It's like when people react negatively, what are you afraid of? Afraid? I'm not afraid. I'm no. Yeah, you are. Because fear is the root of all negativity. You're acting the way you're acting because it's a defense mechanism. You're defending yourself against your fear. What is it that you're afraid of? That's the scariest. The scariest thing is fear. We fear the monster under the bed. We fear our shadows. We fear our negative qualities and traits.
You hear the airplane sound?
I do. So.
Hey, Mommy. Should we go kids gym Wednesday?
Yes, my love.
Okay.
So, we defend fear, what we're afraid of, with anger. Okay? How many times do we see pranks? Remember, I know, like, I grew up near San Francisco, and we always go to Fisherman's Wharf, and there's a little plant guy, the bush guy, and he would sit there like a bush, and when people come by, he's like, boo, like that, and scare the out of people. But sometimes guys would react aggressively, like, oh, you didn't scare me. What, you it's like, come on, it's a prank. Why do they get angry? Because they're afraid to show their fear. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, you scared me, they're like, what, you want to fight? Calm down. That is sinking into deep unconscious when you want to fight a bush for scaring you. Okay? It's just a fun thing. It's Fisherman's Wharf. It's a tourist area. It's a place of fun. And you want to fight people. That's when you know you're sinking into that deep unconscious. Okay? I think it's funny. Well, but I'm a feminine energy. So when something scares me, I scream and jump. But I don't get mad. I'm like, oh my gosh, it scared me. But especially with masculine energy, it's now is an age of a toxic masculinity. We gotta be toxic masculines, right? We gotta be alpha males. We gotta be billionaires. We gotta be this. We gotta be that. Toxic masculine. Because we're men and we're big and we're strong and we're this and we're that. It's like ever since the women's liberation, movement, ever since feminism, men have gotten more toxic, right? Not to say men weren't toxic in the past. They were toxic in the past, okay? But now men are more toxic because women they're here, women are coming up this way and sometimes even surpassing them, and they need to fight for their manhood, right? I'm a man. It's no longer I am woman, hear me roar. It's I am man, hear me roar, because I am the king of the jungle. And I will forever try to climb higher than the women. Why? Why do you need to? Because if a woman is equal to me, that means I'm not strong. Yeah, you are. We're both strong. Masculines or men are biological men are physically stronger. Biological women are emotionally stronger. Okay? Because we are conditioned to be able to handle childbirth. It makes us have more inner strength. Masculine men have more outer strength. So you are equal. Okay? And it's the age of toxic masculinity. Why? Why can't you be a divine masculine? Why can't you be a person, just a person? You know, the song Scatman, one of my favorite 90s songs, he says to be a human being, not a human doing. Being. Okay? Which is that inner connection, which is that inner healing, a human being, your being, right? Not just doing. The toxic masculines are doing. What did Will Ferrell say in Step Brothers? Snapping necks and cashing checks. No.
Phone will turn off.
There's no need for all of that. Okay? It's okay as masculines, as men, to be equal to women. What if a woman surpasses me? Then let her surpass you.
He's not talking anymore.
It's not about her. Leave her out of it. Okay? It's about you. Find out why inside you're so afraid of a woman surpassing you. I'm not afraid of a woman surpassing me. Then why are you acting the way that you're acting? Because this and this and this. You know that toxicity stems from fear. What are you afraid of? What is your monster under the bed? Right? That's something that we all need to discover. It's scary, I know. I've dealt with many monsters under my bed. When I was little, I dealt with a Godzilla in my closet. I had Godzilla in my closet when I was little. But I dealt with all of that, right? There's no more monsters under my bed. I can hang my feet over the side of the bed and not be afraid. So that's where we all should be, right? So that was my video, Monster Under the Bed. Tomorrow I'm going to do a video about manifestation called Magic is About Emotion. And then Wednesday is my oracle reading. Thursday I'm going to do a video about our body. It's called Our Body, Our Vehicle. So I'm going to do a video about that. Friday is going to be about my story of giving up my daughter, one of my kids, for adoption when she was born. And then Monday, I don't know why I put Friday, but Monday I'm actually going to do a video called Decoding the Book of Revelation. So that's going to be really interesting. Yeah, I have like all of this is all channeled messages I still have to put out. I have next week already done and the week after already planned out. I already have all of those messages. So that was my message for today. Remember, the sessions, the free sessions I have, I'm turning them into free introductory sessions to my coaching. So if you're interested in my healing session, my whether it's the 5 steps of ascension, shadow work, self-love. I think I'm going to be doing shadow work, self-love, 5 stages of ascension, and breaking ancestral and generational cycles. Those are going to be the 4 sessions I offer. So, you know, I'm going to be offering a free introductory session on those because I want to rebuild my coaching packets. I'm also going to be starting a crochet plushie business. I had one in 2019 where I was making and selling crochet plushies. I even sold them to photographers to use in their photo shoots, which was really cool. So I'm going to start that up again. And I'll let you guys know when I have all of that up and running. So thank you guys so much for watching. All of my information is down below, including ways to donate, my other social media, and other services. That's in the description. Yes, again, thank you guys for watching. Remember to have a beautiful day, week, weekend, month of your life. Remember to live in and spread love, joy, compassion, gratitude, kindness, peace, and enlightenment. And I will see you next time.